Hello and welcome to GSKP, also known as Georgia Sunflower Kansas Peach TV here on YouTube. I'm so glad to see all my peach trees and sunflower seeds. Today is June 8th, 11/23, 2025 on a beautiful Sunday morning. I am so glad to see you guys. Well, today, you guys, I've been putting out a lot of videos. Well, I haven't put out a lot, but this is my second for the day. I'm trying to catch up on things because I've been so busy all week, and I think I've made one or two videos, and I'm just trying to do better so that I can get better. So today we're going to be talking about the McKnight saga, the father and son. I'm not sure if you don't know. The son, 32-year-old, has passed away. And from the sounds of things didn't get resolved. And I think that's a terrible thing. So, what we're going to do is finish listening to our theme song. And then we'll get to the matters at hand. Thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for joining me here on GSKP TV, also known as Georgia Sunflower Kansas Peach here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is June 5th, again, 2025. Thank you for joining me, you guys, on this beautiful Sunday. As I was saying at the top of the video, there's been a lot been going on, so I haven't had a chance to really make any videos. I think the last one I made was I think the last video I made was a couple of, or maybe a week or so ago, or a couple, few days ago, just trying to catch up. And it was about Miss Shirley, y'all. And I got copyrighted, so I took the video down. And I told myself I'm going to start doing better on staying up to date with current events and making my videos just because I need to do better, you know? So, I'm off. It's Sunday, and I'm just making videos today. This is my second video. If you haven't seen or heard, I just did a video about Tyler Perry's new movie, Straw. Go check it out. It's a good film. As I said in that review or whatever, I'm not a big fan of Tyler Perry, but I like Tyler Perry's movies. You know, I wish he would update and stop the thing with the battered black woman thing, the struggling black woman. But, you know, if you can stand that and get past that, they're pretty good movies. You know, I got to give it to him. He is a talented man. But anyway, right now we are going to be talking about uh the saga with Brian McKnight. Please excuse me. We're going to be talking. We're talking Brian McKnight and his son, who has recently passed away. He lost his struggle with cancer. Um, and during his struggle, he and his father were estranged. Um, what we'll do is we'll watch the clip and then we'll discuss it, because this, I think this is going to be more of a rant than a review. I just don't. Let's watch the clip.
Look at you. You're doing everything you can to get your blood pressure in check. And now you have Super Beats Heart Chews by Human on your side too. In a
death at 32 years old. The singer shared his message to Instagram.
Big thanks to Claude McKnight's tasteless and self-aggrandizing announcement on TikTok that frankly was not his to make.
Brian McKnight calling out his brother Claude McKnight in the wake of son Nico's death at 32 years old. The singer shared his message to Instagram June 3rd in response to his brother announcing on TikTok that Nico had died after a 2-year cancer battle.
Nico was one of those amazing kids who was quirky and curious and ridiculously talented.
In my opinion, he inserted himself and used Nico's death as an opportunity instead of letting him pass with respect and dignity.
The R&B artist claimed his estranged son, along with Nico's mom and Brian's ex-wife, Julie McKnight, refused help amid his health struggles.
The last time he and I spoke, we offered him all the help we could provide. We had the #1 oncologist on deck for him and a team of specialists on standby with private care in our home. He and his mother declined. The door of communication was open and remained open until his death. To the self-proclaimed mama bear, may God have mercy on your soul for not allowing him to accept that help and not allowing him to use that line of communication.
In the aftermath, Brian said he held a private memorial in Hawaii for Nico, whose death has become the center of his family feud.
There is great comfort in knowing God knows the truth and the totality of the whole story. I am truly thankful for the immense peace God has given me, and I've left everything in his hands.
Okay. Now, after hearing that, first off, I'm just gonna say it. Brian McKnight, you are just as wrong as two left shoes. You're wrong. You are dead wrong. No pun intended. Please excuse me. But you are wrong. You should have reached out to your child, especially then. This young man was leaving this world, and all he wanted was to reconcile and to see his father. And you, Brian McKnight, are so wrapped up and caught up in this other family that you've made. This fifth family that you've made, because prior to that, you got 3 or 4 more baby mamas, and you have disowned each and every one of those black children. And all of those children are not wrong. All of those children are not wrong. Brian McKnight, I hope that Nico haunts your ass to your grave because you are dead wrong. Yes, sir, you are dead wrong. That child left this world with the words and ideas and thoughts that you did not love him, and you told him so. Brian McKnight, I don't care how badass that them children was and are. All kids are bad. I don't care whose child they are. They're all bad. That's why we're the parents, to teach them. Now, when they get grown and foolish, that's on them. But that is still your baby. I don't care how big he got. I don't care how mannish or grown or whatever he got. You didn't have to give him nothing. You didn't have to give him your money. All you had to do was give him your attention. Let them cut the food. They're babies. He's your baby. That's how you do babies. If they were showing out, let them have their tantrum. Long as he ain't crying blood, like the old people used to say, he will be all right. But for you to completely turn your back on all four of your black children, nigga, you got it coming. Now you done got over there with whatever her name is, and she ain't done nothing to me, and I'm not mad at her. Get your money. Get your money. Okay? Run his ass down through there. Get every dime you can get from him. Because he deserves it. Mistreat him if you want to. Because he has done the ultimate by turning his back on his children, his flesh and blood. I don't care what went on in that family. Those are your children. Again, I didn't say you had to pay their bills. I didn't say you had to give them money, but you could tell those children that you love them. You don't fix your mouth to tell your children that you don't love them. Might not like them. That's very well true. Might not like them. I can't stand how you act. But God knows I love you. I love you to death. You don't tell your baby you don't love them. And this child was sick. And then you got the nerve to come on with that fake ass, whatever that was. That don't even sound. And I'm a stranger. And then in representation, you got a bottle of liquor on the beach? Really? And then you got the nerve to come on here and talk about your brother who respectfully paid condolences to your son. He know you a fool. You got a daughter who says you haven't told her happy birthday in years. But you get over here with Chiquita Maria or Chung Fong Lee or whoever, whatever it is, and you calling this little baby Brian Jr., totally disrespecting your son that's already Brian Jr. as if he doesn't exist. I hope Nico haunts the dog shit out of you. I hope that woman takes every dime that you have. I hope she cheats and mistreats you till heaven gets the news. I hope they take all your money, all of it. And somehow or another, those children that you walked off and turned your back on, they get it. And this goes for any father that walks off and doesn't tell their children that they love them. I don't care who it is. And this child has left this earthly realm, and you were too stupid and foolish and lying on the mama. You lying on that woman. You lying on her. Why would he have to come out there to your house? When you said that, oh, we offered him this and that, and to come out to our home, and he don't want to be with them strangers. He don't want to be with them people. That's not his family. I would have said no too. That was that child's family. He wanted to be with his family, his brothers and sisters, and his father, who refused him that on his dying bed. That is so terrible and sad. That is so terrible and sad. Most people, when they are leaving this world, they reach out and they cry out for their parents. From speaking age on up to 100,000 years old, they all cry out or reach out for their parents. You know how I know? Because I've worked in healthcare for a long time. And I've seen people leave this earth, leading up to leaving this earth, while they're leaving this earth. And one thing that they all have in common is they revert back to being a child. And they called for their mommies and their daddies. They reach out to their mommies and their daddies. That's from 2 to 202. And this child, which was 32, realized that he was leaving this world and requested to see his father. And you, Brian McKnight, refused him that. If it were my child, I don't care if me and the mama and the daddy and the frog and the fish are not together. I don't care what she said. Well, I can understand that she didn't want her child off with you strangers. So, yeah, I can understand why she refused that. Absolutely. I would have refused it too. But let me tell you something. You could not have kept me from my child's bedside otherwise. You got so much money and so much this and so much that. Why didn't you go to your child's bedside? That boy was already tired. He was preparing to leave this world. And you wanted him to be packed up and drug off down there where you was at somewhere. You couldn't leave your white family long enough to go and see about this black baby? I hope, Lord forgive me, he haunts the shit out of you. I hope you don't get not one night's rest. I don't care about what kind of foolishness was going on with that family. There is no way. There's no way I would have let my son, my daughter, leave this realm without knowing that I love them, without me being right there. Unless it was something that happened out of my control. Because there are things in this world that happen that we have no control over. But you, Brian McKnight, you could have went to your son. You could have went to him. You could have went and said, y'all just please let me have 5 minutes alone with my son. And you could have told him that you love him. You could have done that. You won't make me believe there was so much going on that you could not, just for 5 minutes, stop cutting the food long enough to go see about your baby. You couldn't stop long enough. And they're the immature ones, right? They're the ones with no class, no couth, no decorum. And then you get your stupid, thinking you talking pretty and intelligent self on YouTube and say them stupid things you said. Your brother paid total respect to his nephew. He's not a stranger, you dummy. Like them people that you're over there with. That's his uncle. You dingbat. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Brian McKnight. You should be ashamed. And let's make one thing clear. There's absolutely nothing wrong with moving on if something is not working. That ain't the problem. And nobody cares that she's white, purple, pink. That don't mean shit. What the problem is are the stupid things that are coming out of your mouth and the foolish actions. Now that is what the problem is, Brian McKnight. Back in the day, I would have called you Mister, but you don't deserve that any longer. I don't care how gray your face is. I sure don't. Now you think you being high class because you over there. Because you done ghettoed out all these black women, these 4 baby mamas. And now she's the mother of your child. Get the F out of here, nigga. Whenever she get through with you, you going to try to come on back. You going to have to come on back over here. But guess what? You don't get to come back to the cookout. Because I'm going to continue to hope and pray that Mr. Nico McKnight haunts your black ass to death. And that's just period poo. Because this is a total. There is no way you can explain this to me. I don't care how foolish children act. I don't care how stupid the mama acts. I don't care. We're talking about you and your actions. And me and you, Brian McKnight, we're around the same age. I'm probably older than you. And there is no excuse for your behavior. I don't care. Like I said before, I do not care how pretty you try to sit up a tool. I don't care nothing about that. That does not change the fact that you should have been at your son's bedside. That does not change that fact. You should have been at your son's bedside. And the way things work, Brian McKnight, there's going to come a time when you're going to want someone at your bedside too, brother. You can bet that. And you are going to be suffering and alone, and you will deserve every minute of it. Unless you change your wicked ways, you, sir, are going to suffer. I see you like to throw God in there. God up every time you turn around. Your actions are not of God. Now, if we're going to talk about God and all that, what was the story of the man that had the son that was out with the swine? And he kept telling his son. But his son went anyway. But one day he looked up and he said, Is that, ain't that, that's my baby. That's my child. Get him the fatted calf, the purple robes, the best food, all the drinks. Not one time did that father turn his back on his child. He let his child go and he continued to pray for him. But he never once did what you did, and you need to stop playing with God because he gonna fix you, mister. You are going to see this again. Brian McKnight, you are wrong, sir. You are wrong, sir. And I have enjoyed your music for many a year. But Mr. McKnight, and excuse me, Brian McKnight, you ain't no better than any other low life. Because you wrong for that. You are so wrong for that. And you are going to see it again. And you sitting up using the Lord's name in vain, thinking you saying something pretty and intellectual. Brother, you ain't doing nothing but setting yourself up for failure. You ain't doing nothing but setting yourself up for failure. And you'll deserve it. You'll deserve it. You'll deserve it. Well, guys, I think I've come to the end of my rant about Brian McKnight. I keep trying to call him Mr. because I'm used to doing that's just because of how my parents raised me. You say Mr. and Mrs. and thank you and no ma'am and yes sir. And I'm grown. I'm grown. So you have to be mindful. And this is such a sad, terrible story. It really is. But he will pay for this. There's no excuse. Excuse me. He's the parent, not the boy. He's the son. But he'll see it again. You guys, I want to thank you for joining me here on GSKP TV, Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. I can't do this without you. I only get better if you give me some suggestions, some critiques, and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I mean, like I always say, I can't do it without you. As I always say, wear your mask, wash your hands. We still got bugs out here. If you're in a big crowd, make sure you wear your mask. Because like I said, we still got stuff going on. We ain't out of the woods. It's just to get crunk up here again. Like I always say, I am my brother's keeper, and I love you. Bye.